Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool original style Snoopy and Woodstock telephone in the original style that they came in, and this is Walter's telephone from California. And so Walter had sent this telephone in, but he just sent the base. And I want to show you something kind of unique. This is initial checkout of this telephone, and I had to have him send the upper portion of Snoopy in because I had to get a look at the hook switch situation. But this is the initial checkout, and he's got in a note that he wrote here, does not dial out, does not ring, please install the new line cord. So we have another line cord. And so basically, back in the day, what would happen, and I have Snoopy apart here, I want to remove the upper portion, and I want to show you the inside of this telephone. As you can see, it looks much different than a normal Snoopy and Woodstock telephone would look on the inside. And I do believe this is some company's rendition of the way they were repairing these telephones, because what would happen in the old days is you owned the figure, but you did not own the parts. And it's been said that the phone company would, if you wanted to stop renting the telephone from them, you would purchase the body, but they would come take out, they wanted the insides, so they would take out the insides. And this looks like some company's version of what they would replace inside Snoopy. So it's totally different. Even the hook switch is totally different. And I still have to go through this, troubleshoot it, figure out what's going on. As you can see, the hook switch can get into a situation where it just locks, and it's going backwards. And it seems to me that if you drop this phone and the hook switch goes like that, you'd have to take the phone apart. So somehow it rocks back and forth on this switch. The normal switch would have been over in this area, and then the bell would have been in this area here, and then you had a network here. And so this is totally different, basically, than what you would normally see. And this board reminds me of an automatic electric board that we see in telephones from time to time. So we're just going to have to get into it and troubleshoot it and find out what's going on. Now, we know the line cord's bad because it's all corroded. But another issue is this telephone is hardwired. As you can see, this was where the modular port would be, but they have the handset cord just running over to this board, and then you do not have the knockout for what would be a modular port for the line cord is not there. The knockout's not even been taken out. So I'm not sure if they got a hold of a bunch of these telephones and they were doing their conversion on them, or what they were doing, because the line cord is actually run out this way, and that's not how it would have been back in the day. So it's just hard to say how this telephone ended up this way. But now what we need to do is troubleshoot it and get it squared away for Walter and repaired. So we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we're going to do our troubleshooting, and we'll get some more video of this telephone as we move along in the repair, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and I want to show you a little bit about what's going on. We have removed the old line cord. That is no good. We're going to pitch that, throw it in the trash. And I want to show you something. We've gone through and troubleshooted a little bit and had to work on the hook switch, and there was some issues. As you can see on the bottom of this telephone, it's totally different. What would normally happen is this piece of plastic would not be here, which is a bracket. So when you hang up Snoopy, and basically what you would have is just this metal washer here, and there's a tube here where Snoopy's arm, the linkage, comes down right next to it, and it's kind of covered up by this white piece of plastic. And when the spring is like this, there's no way for it to actually work properly. So, you know, it's kind of a bad design, because if the spring gets pushed in right there, you know, you're not sure which way this goes, and you don't know what what the situation is. The spring is supposed to be like that, and we're going to have to leave it like that because that's the way it's designed. But if somebody comes up and, you know, takes Snoopy apart for some reason and springs the spring like that, then, you know, if you don't know what's going on, then you wouldn't really know that the spring goes this way. So we have the spring in properly now, and I may even try to stabilize it, but like I said, if you push it, it's just going to go the other way. And this is the way that it's supposed to work. But it's totally a different type of bracket that the normal ones had on it. It's a totally different situation. But now that's part of it's been squared away. I want to show you something real quick. When I plug this cord in here, the line cord, we're going to get our analyzer, and it's going to seize the line. And I want to show you something about these connections here. I never cared for these type of connections. I've seen the phone company use them. I've seen Western Electric use them, and they weren't a very good idea. And I'm going to show you why. We've seized the line. I want to give you some dial tone. Hear that? I want to give you some dial tone again. And so now we don't even get dial tone if you move it around enough, but you get a lot of static. We'll try for dial tone one more time. There's dial tone. Now I'm going to start moving these. Bad idea. Bad design. And we're going to be getting rid of this. So now what we want to do is I want to get into these connections, and we're going to repair this part of it. We're not going to go for that. It's not going to work. We're not going to leave these in there. And this was the idea of this, where you took the two spade connectors here and then laid them in this little connector and then snapped it closed. It's a bad design, and it just doesn't work properly. Not sure why they would use them. Seems like they would have give you a connection block. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to solder all these wires. We're not going to mess with them. And so what I'm going to do is finish these off. We're going to solder every one of them together, and then we're going to heat shrink them. But that gives you some kind of idea how we're going to take care of that little problem there that they have created with their connection block. So we're going to take a short break, and I'm going to finish that part of it off, and then we're going to be working our way down the line on repairing this telephone and getting it squared away for Walter. So we'll be right back. Okay. We're back now, and what we're going to do is I have all my connectors apart, and now we have tied all the lines together that need to be tied together, and we're going to go ahead and solder all these. So I want to go ahead and start that process. We want to make sure that they're soldered together really well. Then we can heat shrink them. And then we can be assured that any bad connections will not be coming from this area. It'll be something else. We can take our heat shrink slide all them on there. Okay, I'll take care of that. Do our last one here. Okay, that'll take care of that problem. I'm going to go ahead and throw them away. They're worthless. We don't need them. Go ahead and plug our telephone into the analyzer. Give you some dial tone. And as you can see, all you're going to hear is maybe me moving the wires around. Any static coming from this area, there will not be any. It'll be something else within the unit. So that's been taken care of. And I want to take a short break from the video because I want to do some more troubleshooting and go through some things and make sure that our bell circuit is proper and that our network is proper and our hook switch is cleaned. And so we got some issues. We also want to install our line cord. So we'll be doing that also. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up in the repair of this telephone, and we're getting ready to do our final checks. And so we're going to kind of run through a little bit of everything that went on We went ahead and went through the network and looked that over. We went through the bell circuit, made sure everything was proper there. We installed the line cord that Walter sent along with this telephone and wanted installed on this telephone. We went ahead and hardwired it like the original cord was. We also went through the hook switch, cleaned it, adjusted that, and made sure that that was all working properly. We went through the wiring that had the connectors on them, and we hard soldered all of those lines so that there wouldn't be any kind of a static issue or dial tone go away or anything like that. So that was all taken care of. So we kind of just went through the whole telephone and made sure everything was proper and repaired any problems. So now what we want to do is our final checks, and I'm going to go ahead and ring the telephone. I'm going to let that go a few times. I'll let it go one more time. We'll go ahead and answer the telephone, give you some dial tone. Now what we want to do, if you watch the analyzer, is I'm going to walk through our numbers. I'm going to end in a 2, and now I want to transmit into the handset. So if you watch this red light here on the analyzer, every time you see that red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hello, hello. So we know that this telephone is ringing in on a ring cycle. It's dialing out. It has receive and transmit. I can push this button on the switch box, and that'll totally take the analyzer out of the situation and give us a line out. We'll call a time and temp number, and I want to tell you now that they're having problems with their equipment. So when the recording starts, you'll hear a little bit of the recording, and then you'll hear a hum, and then more recording. And they're having problems with their equipment. It's on their end, and it has nothing to do with what we're doing on this end. So it's their equipment. And we'll go ahead and do that now. I'm going to give you some dial tone.
Good evening. Today is Friday, July 26th. The time is 9 o'clock. Current temperature 79 degrees. Chance of a shower, otherwise clearing overnight, lows around 60, mostly sunny on Saturday, a high in the mid-70s.
Okay. We can call one other number. We can call my number, and it'll be busy. Give you some dial tone. Now that we know that this telephone has been repaired, we can return it to Walter, and they can start enjoying this telephone again. You know, and Snoopy and Woodstock is all happy again. Everything's been taken care of, and I'm sure this telephone, they're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of it in the future. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com. And you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.